Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me, if you can see my screen. We are live. Drop in the chat box. Yeah, kindly drop in the chat box if I'm audible enough. All right. Thank you. Okay, we will quickly proceed. Yesterday we were talking about key hacks, powerful hacks, tips and tricks that can enhance our PowerPoint usage. And I can remember vividly, this is where we stopped yesterday at filling shapes with pictures, making it look very professional and at the same time retaining the picture quality and making the positioning of the picture to be very, very effective. Okay, now we are going to quickly proceed from here. Let's get into my slide. Now we are going to fill this with pictures, the same time format this. Let's quickly do that and make it bold. This head of finance, this we can call this head of marketing. Head of marketing. Let's say head of sales and marketing. Head of sales and marketing. Okay. Can make it center align. Then bold this color. Now let's go ahead to insert a picture inside this. Remember what we talked about yesterday. There are two ways you can do that. Either you right click and go to format shape, or you go to this. Then let's get from file. I think I have a picture here. Let's say we use this, and you see the positioning of this picture is not really okay. So I will have to go to picture format, come to crop, and then select fill. So once I select fill, it will give me the privilege to position this this picture very well, to position it very well. Okay, now once I'm okay with that, to retain its quality, I will go here and click crop. That's on that. Then I'll come on picture border, select the color, come to border, go to weight. Think this is what we used yesterday. Now we need to put pictures on this as well. We go to shape format rather, then come to shape fill, go to pictures. Then do I have any other picture here? Let's see. We'll be working with any picture. Let's say we have this. Let's take for example is this, we insert, and what we need to do, go to picture format, come to this and say fill. So we have my bad, go to picture format, come to crop, and then select fill. So once that happens, we can bring this here, and the quality of the picture will still remain, and we say crop, then the border, and then increase the weight. Okay, now once that is done, I can come here, duplicate this, Control D, or you hold down your arrow key, or you hold down your control key and then drag this. You hold down your arrow key and then drag this. Remove your hand from your cursor before removing it from arrow key, and then hold down arrow key as well and drag this place. So you see, once I'm dragging it, showing me the smart guide I talked about yesterday. The smart guide you are seeing here is making sure that the text and stuff I'm moving is aligned properly. It's showing me the line. If I go outside the line, that line, if I go away, the thing will disappear. If I come down, the line will show me, yes, it's totally aligned. So I will leave it here. Then once I move, it shows me that yes, this is kind of at the center, and this, if I move it, you see the smart guide is showing me that is properly aligned. So with that I can now, we have set up stores that meet our management team. But what you notice here is that their names are not here. Which will now take us to the next one, which we are going to talk about morph. We are going to be talking about the next hack we are going to be looking at is morph. Now let's look at morph. In that aspect, for morph transition, let me duplicate this. Let me duplicate this slide that we have already. That's Control D will give us that particular slide. We are now talking about morph. But however, in this slide now, I want to do something. Now here, if I hold this and then hold down shift and reduce this, it will still maintain its circle. Let's say I reduce it to this size and then hold down shift again. You notice what it will do when I get to the same size as the other one. Now you see it's showing me that yes, you are now of the same size with the previous one with the smart guard. Then I will remove it. The same thing, I will come to this one, hold down my shift and then reduce. But the thing here is that it will not show me that is of the same size, but I will show us what to do to ensure that they are of the same size. This one, because they are of the same alignment, it will show me for this one as well that is the same size with this particular one. Now you see that this is the same size. So with this, the pictures, let me remove this. I don't need it. I don't need it. This is what you can use for your presentation and make your presentation look so professional. Morph transition is very, very powerful. It's very, very wonderful. I can come to shape format. You see, it's showing me under this shape is 0.54, 0.54. This one, the same 0.54. This is 0.55. So what do I need to do? I will come here. Once I want them to be the same size, I will make it 4, and then the same, come here, the same thing, make it 4 for this and hit enter. So they are the same size, even though it's not really visible, but we want to ensure that once everything, even with the microscopic eyes, everything will seem to be perfect. So having done that, I can now come to this, move this here. I can move it here. Then I can move this one here as well. You see the smart guard is showing me that yes, they are now in the same, they are of the same line. So I can move this. It's showing me, you see the smart guard. Once I get to the same distance, it shows me horizontally and vertical distance, and then move this one as well. In fact, smart guard is a very good feature in Microsoft PowerPoint for latest features. You might not see it in Office 2010, you might not see it in 2013. And however, if you are using Office 2019, 2016, 2021, and you are not seeing your smart guard, you can turn it on. Maybe you are not seeing the line that helps you. You can turn it on by coming to the background of the slide and right click. Once you right click, you go to grid and guides. So here, this is what you will want to turn on. Like this is marked good, my own is on. So it's what if your own is not marked good, you come here and click it to turn it on. Okay, now I will move this over here, and then hold my shift and increase this person a bit more. Then bring it. You see it shows me already that is center aligned. Then I can bring my stuff here, and then I can enlarge it, increase it. Then I can come here to make it bolder. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is to get a text box to put in some write-ups. We want to explain or talk about this particular personnel. Maybe we want to talk about this particular personnel. So to get some dummy sentence, maybe you are preparing a light teams, you are preparing a Microsoft Word template, you are preparing a template, you are preparing stuff you can use to give someone as a guide, and you need a dummy write-up. You can get it using this shortcut, saying equals to lorem open bracket. If you need 3 lines and 3 paragraphs and stuff like that, you put it. Let's say I put 3,3 here. You can put 3 to, you can put 5,7, depending on the kind of dummy letters or dummy write-up you want to generate. So once that happens, once I have it this way, I hit enter. So you see it generates some random write-ups that doesn't make any sense. Like you see, this is 3 paragraphs. It doesn't make any sense, but we want to use it for this session to show that yes, this is about this person. And then let's say we bring it down, and okay, and then put another box here. Let's say we put here say we put here Mrs. Let's say Jane Williams. Okay, now that's we use there. We can select the another family, but it's not that is too dark, too heavy, too heavy then, and we can bold it if we like, but let me unbold it, then make it this color. Now with this setup like this, with this setup, we can go ahead to go to transition. Now this is where it gets very interesting. We go to transition and we put morph. You see what happens here now. You see how it is. Now what that simply means, it gives it a very good transition that if you are making a presentation, let's say for example you are making a presentation and this is where you are meet our management team. Let's go and let's go to slideshow. Now this, you have our management team, head of admin, head of finance, head of this and that. Then you click on your mouse, you see how it comes into. Now head of admin, Miss Jane, so and so person. It makes your presentation a very, very powerful way of presenting, highly professional. And also you can duplicate this. You can duplicate this slide. You can duplicate this slide and go ahead to do the same thing we did with these persons. You can make this person, okay, let me show us what I mean. Control D. Now, having duplicated this slide now, I can come here for this now. I can hold my control, or I go to shape format, come here now, say 0.54, come here 0.54. Okay, I got the size. Now I can bring it here, so it's showing me a perfect distance. Maybe I can take let's say I take this person and then I want to know the size of this 441. So I can come here on this person, come here and say 4.41 and then come here 4.41, enter. So it comes with the same size. Then what I will do is now to come here, maybe this person I think is head of finance. We remove it and put head of finance. Then maybe here is Mr. Let's say Mr. Franklin, for example. Okay, now with this we already have that. Then this we move very close, this we move it close, and then we can now go back. I think this already have the same transition, but to be sure that that's the same, yes, is the same transition. Okay, now we can, once we go to this place, we say slideshow, we say this. Now you click, you see what he did, a very, very powerful transition. So once you do for the next person and click, it is change it, a very, very interesting and powerful transition that makes your presentation to be top notch, to be highly professional. is a very, very interesting feature in our transition. Highly professional. You can go ahead on your own, do the same thing, duplicate this, change this person to the next person, and change order of their with their information. Let's, for example, you are preparing a real presentation. You can put in their intro, their position, their qualifications, what they have done, a summary of their resume or of their profile in this place, and that makes your presentation to be top notch. And that's the aspect of morph transition. Why? If I show us just that in transition, it might not really make sense. That is why I bring it in a practical sense where we use that in a way. Now with that, we move to eyedropper 2. We move to eyedropper 2. We move to eyedropper. Now I will still use this. I will still use this to talk about eyedropper. When you look at this, you see that there is a bit of color mismatch. There is a bit of color mismatch when you look at this. What I mean is that this color doesn't really rhyme with this. If I really want a color that blends with this color that we have here, a blending of what we are working on, that's where this eyedropper 2 comes in play. Now, what does that mean? You can take color from anywhere and use it so that it become consistent with your design. Is a feature that some persons doesn't use, or maybe that has not come to their attention. But most times when I have challenges, when I have challenges as regards to color, maybe these colors, I looked at these colors, they are limited, I don't really like the colors that I'm having here, I can get a picture. I can get a picture into the slide and take a color from that picture and use that color from that using eyedropper tool and use it as my color in the font I'm working on. So that is a very good function in Microsoft PowerPoint. Okay, now let's say I want to change this color. I don't like this color on this head of finance. I don't like it. I can select this. I can select it and then go to this, and then you see this eyedropper here. I will select this eyedropper too. Now if I want this, if I want it to be the man's skin, the skin color of the man, I can take it from here. If I want it to be this color, I can get it from here. If I want it to be this color here, I can get it. If I want it this, I can get it from there. And this color, you might be wondering, on your own PC, you are not seeing a color that is like this, orange, deep orange. I get this color from here. That's where I got it from. So if I click on this, and then you see that the color of this have changed. It's not the way it were before. You see it has changed. If I want this as well, let's say I press Ctrl A, select all the color, and come here and go to eyedropper tool so that you see it very well. Go to eyedropper tool and select this. Once I click on it, you see that it automatically have changed this color. So if I don't like this color here, that what I want is the color of the man's suit. I can Ctrl A, I go to the same eyedropper tool and come to the suit color and click. It gives that black. So that is a feature. It's not only, I need to state this tool is not only available here. is also available here. You can see it here. Is the same eyedropper. You can, I think it's also here. Yes, it's the same eyedropper too. The same eyedropper too. Any place you have, you go for, you can get it from there depending on what you are working on. Depending on what you are working on. So is something that we need to pay attention to. Now, another thing now is that, let's take for example, this is another hack I want to share with us. It's another hack I want to share with us. Let's take for example that this circle, you finish your presentation and your boss said, no, I don't like this circle you use. I want you to use a square. I want you to use a square. Don't use circle. Will you go ahead to delete this and then put the square and then bring the picture back again? Of course, the answer is yes to some persons. Some person will say this is now a huge task. That means I will be changing this and other circular shapes that I used. But the good news is that you don't need to be drawing them one after the other. What you just need to do is you can hold this Ctrl Z, click on this, hold Ctrl, click on this, click on this, you click on this, you click on this. Then once that is done, you go to edit shape. Once you get to edit shape, you come to change shape. When you get to change shape, you select this. Once you select that, you see what happens to your shapes. This is also an important feature, an important hack you need to understand. Now you see that all of them here are now square. You can, if that square is not okay, you can also come here and say, okay, you want to use a polygon. For example, is there polygon here? Okay, yeah, I think you want to use a polygon. Let's say a polygon of 12 sides. That's a dodecagon. Then you can select it. It becomes that aspect, depending on how the person said he or she wants it. Depending on how the person said he or she wants it, you can change it. But changing it one by one will be also waste of time. It's best you select them at once and then change at once. That's also a very important aspect in the change of shape using of your edit shape. Edit shape, you can edit it into any shape of your choice. Any shape of your choice, if it's 5 shape, anyone. So that is the morph transition, the eyedropper to the edit shape. The next we are going over is merging shapes. Merging shapes. That's the next thing we'll be going into. Merging shapes. What are the stuff to image? It's a very interesting features. It's a very interesting feature in PowerPoint. You can use it to create different things. You can use it to create different things. Very, very interesting. So let's dive into it. For us, we go to insert shape. Let's say I have this shape. Let's say I draw this shape. Now I will get to this. Let's say I draw this shape. And once I draw this shape, I can come here. Let me select this. And then there's something I want to do, and then say no outline. Right click. I will talk about that later to show us what I want. I will talk about that later. Okay, now once I did that, I can come here and decide to take I can decide to take this particular tool and then draw across, and then draw across. Now, when you look at this, I can bring it back, and then let me change the color so that it doesn't, so that it becomes a bit visible. Now, merge shapes is that I can merge these shapes into one, and I can separate it. I can do a lot from it. What that is that I want this shape, I select this, hold control, select the other rectangle, go to shape format. You see this option here called merge shapes. This option here called merge shape. If you go to union, that means all of them becomes one. Both the rectangle and the double arrow, the two-side arrow rather, becomes one. That's union. If you go to combine, you see what it does. It combines it together but remove the one at the center, making it possible for you to get a different kind of design. Different kind of design that is very, very interesting. Also, there is this called fragment. Fragment is that from here you can get different shapes. From here, for example, let me show us what that means. If I select fragment, you see what happens here. It separates it into different pieces. So if I click out, that means I can separate this. I can separate this. There is one in the middle. I can separate it. So that fragment has made it possible for me to get different shapes that I can decide to use for different designs. That's the aspect of fragmenting. So let me Control Z so as to get to where we are. Then another thing about this intersect is that it will bring only that point of intersection. Those time in mathematics, in set theory, you talk about union of sets, intersects, and stuff like that. So intersect is more like the number that is the value in set A and the value in set B. Each of them, those values, those sets that have common values, is the intersect. So this one is the one that intersect each of the shapes. That's what intersect all about. Then you see this one, subtract. It will subtract others and leave the ones that are separate on their own. So it is a feature in Microsoft PowerPoint that helps us very, 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 very well. However, this is not just only stuff we can use merge shapes to do. Let me bring to us the dimension that merge shape we can use merge shape to achieve. Is a very, very interesting picture. Now let's quickly do that. Now what we can use merge shape to achieve, let's go to insert text box. Now in this text box, let me type here SOLUMA, and then let me select the font. I like this Eras bold, and then bold it. Let me increase it to this is much, okay, 115. And now having done that, let me keep it here, and then I want to insert a picture. I go to insert, go to picture. Let me get from my device. I think I have some pictures here. Okay, not here. Let me check my downloads. Okay, let me use this picture. Okay, let me select this. And then, okay. Now, once that happens, remember what we talked about. Okay, I made a mistake a bit. Forgive me. Now, we have to get a shape. That's what I will have to do first, because that will work. Let me get a shape that will cover. Let me draw a shape that will cover the shape that will cover the SOLUMA effectively. Okay, I think this shape is good. Then inside this shape, I want to insert a picture. I go to shape fill, go to picture, and then from file. Yes, now let me select this particular image, and then that comes here. Now you see what that happens, and maybe I don't like the one it brings to me, which I always like using my crop tool. I go to crop and select fill. So that fills it up. I can select the part of this image that I want. So let's say I want only the seaside. Let's say I want only the river side. Let's say this is the only side I want. I can now go to this place and say crop. That becomes the picture that I have there. Now, if I go there, I will take this and place it on top of the text, place the image on top of the text, and then come to this function and say send to the back. No, this is for send to back. Now that comes to back. So what that happens, I will select the picture, hold Control, select the text box, and then go to shape format, come to merge shapes. If I come here, you see what it does: combine, fragment, and then intersect. Now, once I select intersect, you see what a beautiful, what a wonderful stuff we have. See what a wonderful stuff we have. If I select this, you see the picture. You see how I use that to generate a very beautiful text. So let me, okay, I can hold this and increase it. I can come to picture effect. I can put a shadow. I can put reflection. Can put some reflection. If you want to use this as your title slide. Now we use another. Let me Ctrl Z. Okay. Okay. We select this and then select this. Let's go to shape fill and then fragment. In this fragment, once you select it, you see that it fragments different stuff there. You can now move this away. You see that you have gotten different stuff. This can form as your write-up. This, you can move this away too. This can form as your write-up. You can move this away too. Depending on you, you can use this and then you place it here. You can use this and place it here. Very, very wonderful stuff you can use this to achieve. And inside this, you have really done such an amazing job that this can be what you can use to do your presentation, set it up in any manner, in any form you want. So what you can do here now is you can drag and then Ctrl G to group. So all of them are now one. You can move it to any location of your choice. Now you can still use it to get a kind of different aspect of SOLUMA if the color doesn't really match. So this is stuff you can do. This stuff you can do different ways. You can use it to do your design. Different ways you can use to do your design. So it's Make Shape is a very powerful tool in Microsoft PowerPoint. All right. Now the next we move is on the aspect of replace font. Let's say you have, let me use this font we have already. Let's say this font here is Calibri, and I want to change it to any stuff. You see here you see here replace. Under this replace, you can go to this place and say replace font. Instead of just replace, you select replace font, and here you say replace area with this. So if that is the case, or you can come here and select your stuff. Let's say I want Times New Roman. I can come here and look for Times New Roman. Okay, and then I say replace. It's supposed to replace for me. No, this is not what I want. I like using Times New Roman. It's supposed to replace, but don't know what is wrong with it. Okay, this is Calibri. Okay. Okay, that's it. That's replaced this with this. So here we have Times New Roman. My mistake earlier was I'm using a font family that is not the font that is here. So that's why that happens. I'm using a different font family. You see that all of the font here are already the same Times New Roman, the same Times New Roman. So you don't have to go about changing the font one by one. Anywhere you see Calibri here, it will replace it with Times New Roman. This one is not Calibri. This one is a different family. So anywhere it uses a font Calibri, it will change it to Times New Roman. So if I want to change that one as well, I will still take the family font of that and then say replace it with another family. Okay. I'm trying to run fast so that we can finish up this night. All right. Now the next we have, that is font family. That's for font family. You just need to, for you to do that is, let's say this one now, this is a shape. Now this one, the family is Times New Roman. So if I want to replace it with another stuff, let me state this. You are not clicking on this replace. You click on this arrow beside replace. Very important we understand that. Then once you click it, it brings out these two options. So you select replace font. This is Times New Roman already. So you can say replace it with errors, replace it with E. Then you can search for the errors light. Let's say you say replace it with errors light, and then you select replace. Of course, you see that already replaced here. Anywhere you see Times New Roman in this work, it will be replaced with errors. So depending on what you have already is here, the same thing does here. So it's a very, very important feature as well in Microsoft PowerPoint. Then the next is default shape. Now for this default shape, that's what happens. I use default shape so often if I'm going to make use of a particular shape, because in Microsoft PowerPoint, originality is very key. Maintaining the same or similar kind of stuff throughout your presentation, consistency is very, very important. It makes your work to be professional. What do I mean? If I want my stuff to always be with this color, for example, I drew this and I want it to always follow this color. For example, let's say I come to shape field, select the drop to come here and select the color. It comes there, and I want it to take this outline, this particular outline here. I come to shape outline, select the drop, this, and then come to this one. It will give me, once I got that, it gives me that outline. So you see the outline changes, and then I want it to be of this size, for example. So this is what I have. If I want order of my shape, any shape I'm using, to maintain this particular color layout and outline, what do I need to do? That's where we talk about default shape. I need it. You know that in Microsoft Office, PowerPoint, Microsoft Word, if you notice, anytime you draw a shape, your shape comes with a ready-made design like this, or ready-made color like this blue. Anytime you draw, your shape comes like this. Is by default. So if you want to set up yours also to operate by default like this, that anytime that you want to design, let your drawing, let your shape come out in this format. What you do is that you click on this shape, right click, Once you select the shape, you right click, then you come to this option here. You say set as default shape. Set as default shape. I click on it. So what that does is that if I want to draw a triangle, for example, or a rounded rectangle, now watch what happens. Instead of it coming out to be yellow, that blue, it comes out the same format of this, the same format. If I drew a circle, it will come out in that. It will come out in that format. Whatever shape I'm preparing, whatever shape I'm doing, will come out in that format. Now you see this, not a this a line, but if I'm drawing any shape like this, it will come out in that regard. Any shape. Because this is a line, it doesn't have fill. This one doesn't have fill, it doesn't have this is just a line. That's why it comes this. So if I want to set up my default here as well, I can still come make it a color that I need. Let's say I make this red, for example. Let's say we select this red. If I want it to be that default, I will still come here and say set as default. As you can see now, it's no longer shape. It's set as default line. Set as default line. I can set up this to be my default line, that anytime I'm drawing a line, it comes out with a red color. So that is also a function that will help to make your work faster. Not you finish, not that you draw this at the same time you want to change the color, you make it here, and you draw this circle, you want to change the color red and the outline like this color and stuff like that. It will delay you. It makes your work to take a big time. Why these hacks are very important is that it increases your effectiveness, it increases your efficiency, it boosts your presentation skill, shows you as a professional and at the same time as a skilled person. Your boss, your persons, or anybody sees you preparing your work like this, the person will know that yes, that this person is a top professional. That this person is a top professional. Okay, now the next thing we are going over to, based on the time we have, we will try to cover as much hacks as possible. There are different hacks as it is in Microsoft PowerPoint. That is, the next is slide and summary zoom. It's slide and summary zoom. Now let's look at it. That is slide zoom, summary zoom. Okay, now let's first look at slide zoom. Slide zoom is used to make, especially if you're doing a digital presentation, online presentation, where stuff you want to refer back to, you are making a presentation and you get to a point where you need to refer back to certain points you made earlier. Now, slide zoom can help you to do that. And how do we do that? How do we do that? We go to slideshow. I think so. Is it slideshow? Is it slideshow? Is this slideshow? No. Wait, I need to get it. Where is it? Slideshow, zoom, slide and summary zoom. No, not slide master. Not slide master. Okay. Insert. Forgive me. It's insert. Now under the insert, you come to zoom. Now, peradventure, you don't really know Peradventure, you don't really know where to get what you are looking for. If I had searched, if I have think and think, I couldn't remember, the next thing to do is to come to this place and type in slide. Then once you see different stuff on slide will come out, the slide size, new slide, which is not giving me what I want. I will still move and then put the zoom. It shows me this. So with that, I will come and select. So that's why the search button here is also very, very important. Okay, now we come to this zoom. Under this zoom, you will see summary zoom, you will see session zoom. What we are looking at for now is the slide zoom. So once you click on slide zoom, it shows all the slides you have. All the slides you have. It shows all the slides you have. And let's say you want to refer back to, let's say you want to refer back to this. You want to refer back to this, and to this, for example. Let's say you want to refer back to these 4 slides. You select them. You are already here. You want to refer back to these 4 slides. Or let's say you want to refer back to these 3 slides we have here. Now, once you select this, if is what you want, you say OK. Now, those slides will come here. Now you can position it. You can position it okay, it's showing me that they are now evenly spaced, but this one is not on the same line. Now they are now on the same line. So what this does is this, that once that happens, under this slide summary, you put stuff. Maybe you are making a speech here, you want to refer back to stuff you already talked about, but you need it in this particular explanation you are talking about. Instead of you scrolling back to that particular place to point out to what you are trying to talk about, you can put those things here and then into the slide zoom, that when that comes in, you can, let's look at it. Let's look at it. For example, you have made a presentation here, and at this place, after you are finished talk, you come here and you want to make a stop on this one. Now watch, if I click it, it will zoom in to that particular slide. Now once I click on it, it zooms in, a kind of morph transition, that I can talk about what happens here. I can talk about this, talk about that. Once I finish, I click, then it brings me to the other to the other slide. I talked about zooming to that particular slide, since it's still part of the explanation that I'm talking about. Then after, when I'm done, it will take, then I can press my escape button so as to come to what I want. So that is something that is very, very interesting. Slide zoom that is very, very interesting for us to use. If you are there, is zooming to this, you talked about finish, you can zoom out of that clip, of that place. Okay, now because of our time, I'm trying to run fast. Remove background. We are going to the time. Our time is already fast spent. Let me see how I can quickly run this. Let's say remove background. Let me bring in a picture. From device. let's say I want to remove the background of this picture. So I click on it, and then there are certain things one can do with this, but due to time, I click on this, go to picture. Once I click on it, picture format, you will see remove background. So once I click on it, it already selects, it says it's already select all these place purple are the ones to remove. Of course, if you check, you see that the selection are not really correct. So I can click on this, mark the areas to keep. So I can use this. So I can Control Z is okay. I can mark this area, then I can mark that. So you see, you have to check where, I think inside here as well. Okay, you check properly where you need to remove, where you need to remove to keep. So though it might not be perfect, I'm not saying that this will replace CorelDRAW, but if it's a shape that is well cutted out, one can use it for certain stuff. So having done that, you can click save the changes, and you see, though these are some certain stuff that are not really very okay. However, these are something one can use. One can use this. That's how you crop your picture. You can use this particular stuff and place it in a place, maybe stuff like that. Time is not on our side. I need to run along. So this is for picture formatting. Okay, now okay, now having established that, I think the next thing is PowerPoint add-ins, which maybe in the next class we will quickly run through it and then move into deeper stuffs in PowerPoint. And let me stop here due to the time is fast spent. I have not talked about transition and animation very well. I have not talked about custom slideshow and how to set up your slideshow and stuff like that, and other important things as regards to Microsoft PowerPoint. However, by tomorrow, we will still look at that PowerPoint adding custom slideshow and other stuffs, like you can come here and get your add-ins. But to be able to do that effectively without rushing it, this is where we will draw the curtain. For tonight. Tomorrow is another section. If you know anyone who is having challenge in his or her presentation, cannot prepare a professional slide for presentation that will wow his or her audience, let the person be available in this session. If you miss our yesterday session, feel free to check the video in the channel, search for it in the live session. You will get access to it, watch it. There are very, very important hacks. There are very, very important features we talked about yesterday, and also the first lecture for this course on PowerPoint. very, very important. And I want to say, if you haven't really subscribed to this channel, please remember to subscribe so as to always get notified whenever we want to go live or whenever we dropped important resources, important videos, stuffs as regards to tech, ICT, as regards to career, as regards to jobs, placement, and interviews. We want to appreciate you for being part of this session this night. Do have a lovely night rest. Thank you.